The Billionaire Blueprint: Habits that Built Empires. What separates someone who dreams from someone who builds empires? What do Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Jack Ma, Mukesh Ambani, and Bernard Arnault have in common? Today, we're diving deep into the daily habits, mindsets, and rituals of the world's billionaires. This isn't about luck, it's about patterns. Stay until the end, because habit number 12 will completely change how you see success. Habit 1. The 5 a.m. revolution. The pattern. Billionaires don't sleep in. Tim Cook wakes at 3:45 a.m., Richard Branson at 5 a.m., Bob Iger at 4:30 a.m. India's Ratan Tata was known for starting his day before sunrise. Real-life example, Jack Dorsey. The Twitter and Block co-founder wakes at 5 a.m. for meditation and a 6-mile jog. He says, "The days I don't do this, I feel it in my decision-making." Global perspective. In Japan, SoftBank's Masayoshi Son practices Hayaoki Wasan Mon no Toku. Early rising brings threefold benefits. Chinese billionaire Wang Jianlin, founder of Dalian Wanda, maintains a 4 a.m. wake-up routine despite his age. The science. Stanford research shows that between 4 and 7 a.m., the prefrontal cortex operates with 60% more efficiency. Billionaires exploit this biological advantage. Movie reference. Remember The Pursuit of Happiness? Chris Gardner would wake before dawn to study for his stockbroker exam while homeless. That early morning dedication turned him into a multi-millionaire. Your action step. Start with 6 a.m. for 1 week. Move to 5:30 a.m. the next. Your brain needs 21 days to form a habit. Don't shock your system. Habit 2. Physical excellence as mental fuel. The pattern. Exercise isn't optional in the billionaire playbook, it's strategic. Real-life example, Mark Cuban. Despite his busy schedule, Cuban does cardio 6 days a week. He says, "When I'm in shape, I make better deals." There's a direct correlation. Global examples. Richard Branson, UK, tennis, kitesurfing, cycling. He claims exercise gives him 4 additional productive hours daily. Mukesh Ambani, India, yoga and walks despite running a $100 billion conglomerate. Li Ka-shing, Hong Kong, golf every morning for decades, crediting it to his strategic thinking. Oprah Winfrey, USA, 20 minutes of meditation, 30 minutes of cardio, strength training. The science. Harvard Medical School found that exercise increases BDNF by 300%, literally growing new brain cells. Billionaires are biohacking their brains. Book reference. In Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, over 80% of billionaires interviewed had rigorous morning exercise routines. Not coincidence. Causation. Your action step. 20 minutes, that's it. Morning walk, yoga, or bodyweight exercises. Non-negotiable. Habit 3. Feeding the mind before feeding the body. The pattern. Billionaires consume information like oxygen. Real-life example. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages daily. His office has no computer, just stacks of annual reports and newspapers. He says, "Read 500 pages a day. That's how knowledge compounds." Global reading lists. Bill Gates, 50 books per year, diverse topics from malaria to meditation. Elon Musk learned rocket science by reading textbooks. He says, "I read a lot of books," he says simply. Carlos Slim, Mexico, economics, history, philosophy, daily. Jack Ma, China, reads about history and martial arts philosophy. The diversity advantage. Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen reg physics, biology, poetry, and science fiction. Cross-pollination of ideas creates innovation. TV series reference. In Billions, Bobby Axelrod constantly references books and historical patterns. The show accurately depicts how billionaires use knowledge as weaponry. Your habit breakdown. Morning routine of successful people. 30 minutes reading news, Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, Bloomberg. 30 minutes reading books, nonfiction. 15 minutes reviewing industry reports. Your action step. 1 chapter before checking your phone, 1 article over breakfast, 1 book per month minimum. Part 2. The work philosophy. 12 minutes to 25 minutes. Habit 4. Deep work over busy work. The pattern. Billionaires protect their focus like it's their most valuable asset. Real-life example. Bill Gates takes think weeks twice yearly, isolating himself in a cabin with just books and papers. Microsoft's biggest breakthroughs came from these retreats. Global examples. Azim Premji, India, Wipro, blocks out thinking time every afternoon, no meetings allowed. Bernard Arnault, France, LVMH, first 2 hours of each day, 0 interruptions for strategic planning. Lakshmi Mittal, India, UK, ArcelorMittal, weekly strategy Saturdays alone. The cost of distraction. UC Irvine research. After an interruption, it takes 23 minutes to regain full focus. 1 email check costs you nearly half an hour of deep work. Book reference. Cal Newport's Deep Work analyzes this exact pattern. The ability to perform deep work is becoming simultaneously rarer and more valuable. Movie reference. In The Social Network, Mark Zuckerberg codes for 36 hours straight. Headphones on, world shutout. That scene captures deep work perfectly. Your action step. Block 2-hour chunks. Phone on airplane mode. Door closed. This is where millionaires are made. Habit 5. The 80-20 obsession. The pattern. Billionaires
Music licensing
ruthlessly eliminate the
reimagined.
non-essential. Real-life example. Steve Jobs killed dozens of Apple projects to focus on iPhone and Mac. Wore the same outfit daily, black turtleneck, jeans, to eliminate decision fatigue. Global examples. Mark Zuckerberg, gray t-shirts, same breakfast, toast, minimal daily decisions. Amancio Ortega, Spain, Zara. Same simple lunch daily, focus only on Inditex expansion. Jack Ma eliminated all non-essential meetings when building Alibaba. The Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto discovered 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. Billionaires live this religiously. Example breakdown.
Music
Warren Buffett
licensing
says
reimagined.
no to almost everything. His calendar is surprisingly empty. Jeff Bezos limits high-quality decision-making to 3 per day. Book reference. Essentialism by Greg McKeown documents this exact pattern across successful people. Do fewer things better. Your action step. List your daily tasks. Identify the 20% that produces 80% of results. Eliminate or delegate the rest.
Artlist.io.
Habit 6. Compound thinking over quick wins. The pattern. Billionaires think in decades, not quarters. Real-life example. Jeff Bezos. Amazon didn't profit for years. Bezos focused on customer experience and infrastructure, ignoring Wall Street pressure. He said, "We're willing to be misunderstood for long periods." Global long-term examples. Masayoshi Son made a 300-year business plan for SoftBank. Ratan Tata turned down short-term profits to build Tata's ethical reputation over decades. Carlos Slim bought struggling companies during crises, held for decades. The compound effect. If you improve 1% daily, you're 37 times better in a year. That's exponential growth. Mathematical example. 1.01 to the power 365 equals 37.78. 0.99 to the power 365 equals 0.03. Small daily choices compound dramatically. Movie reference. In The Founder, Ray Kroc shows his long-term vision for McDonald's. While the McDonald brothers thought small, Kroc thought global and generational. Book reference. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy breaks down how small, consistent actions create massive results. Your action step. Ask, will this matter in 10 years? If yes, invest time. If no, minimize it. Habit 7. Failure as fuel. The pattern. Every billionaire has spectacular failures they leverage as learning. Real-life example. Elon Musk. 3 SpaceX rockets exploded before the 4th succeeded. Tesla nearly went bankrupt. He mortgaged everything. Now, he's the wealthiest person on Earth. Global failure stories. Jack Ma, rejected from 30 jobs, including KFC, failed twice at college entrance exams, created Alibaba. Oprah Winfrey, fired as a TV reporter for being unfit for television, built a billion-dollar media empire. Lakshmi Mittal, first major acquisition almost bankrupted him. Learned, adapted, became steel magnet. Richard Branson, Virgin Cola failed. Virgin Cars failed. Virgin Brides failed. Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Galactic succeeded. The Resilience Framework. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck's research shows billionaires have a growth mindset. They see failure as information, not identity. TV series reference. In Succession, Logan Roy's character is built on surviving failures and betrayals. While fictional, it mirrors real billionaire resilience. Statistical reality. Average number of businesses started before billionaire success is 3.8. Average number of major failures is 2.3. The pattern is clear. Fail forward. Your action step. Document your failures. Extract 3 lessons from each. Failures are expensive lessons. Make them count. Part 3. The Relationship Edge. Habit 8. Strategic network building. The pattern. Your network is your net worth. Real-life example. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn's founder, says the fastest way to change yourself is to hang out with people who are already the way you want to be. Global networking. Carlos Slim built relationships across Mexican politics and business for 40 years before major success. Mukesh Ambani, Reliance's growth came partly from strategic relationships across government and business. Bernard Arnault, BLMVH acquisitions succeeded because of his relationships with luxury brand families. Ma Huateng, Tencent, built strategic relationships in Chinese tech ecosystem early. The 5-person rule. You're the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. Billionaires curate their circles obsessively. Quality over quantity. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, 60-year partnership. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, 30-year friendship driving both their philanthropies. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, partnership built Google. Book reference. Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi documents how relationships compound like investments. Movie reference. The Wolf of Wall Street shows the dark side, but the core truth remains. Networks determine opportunities. Your action step. Monthly coffee with someone 2 levels above you professionally. Quarterly dinner with your mastermind group. Annual retreat with your inner circle. Habit 9. Radical delegation. The pattern. Billionaires delegate everything except their unique genius. Real-life example. Richard Branson runs 400 companies but focuses only on brand strategy and culture. Everything else is delegated. Global Delegation Masters. Ratan Tata empowered subsidiary CEOs completely while maintaining vision. Larry Page hired Sundar Pichai to run Google while he focused on Alphabet's moonshots. Amancio Ortega built Zara's system to run without him, rarely gives interviews. The Delegation Formula. Only do tasks that only you can do, generate 10 times your hourly value, and compound future opportunities. Everything else gets delegated or eliminated. The trust paradox. Billionaires hire people smarter than themselves. Ego gets checked at the door. Example: Elon Musk. Despite his hands-on reputation, Musk hired world-class engineers at SpaceX and told them, "I hired you because you know more than I do about this." Book reference. Who Not How by Dan Sullivan shows how billionaires think about delegation as multiplication. Your action step. Track your time for 1 week. Identify tasks you could delegate. Start with 1 per week. Habit 11. Giving before taking.
Music licensing
Billionaires
reimagined.
master reciprocity. Real-life example. Bill Gates. The Gates Foundation has given away over $50 billion, but Gates says, "I've received more than I've given through the relationships and knowledge gained." Global giving examples. Azim Premji, India, donated $21 billion to education, saying, "I learned more about education systems than any MBA could teach me." Warren Buffett, pledging 99% of wealth, but the relationships through philanthropy opened countless doors. Jack Ma established rural teacher programs, creating goodwill and networks across China. Chuck Feeney gave away $8 billion anonymously in his lifetime to Giving While Living.
Music
The reciprocity
licensing
engine.
reimagined.
Psychologist Robert Cialdini's research shows giving creates powerful psychological bonds. Modern example. Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan's commitment to give 99% of their Facebook shares built relationships with governments and NGOs worldwide. Your action step. Give value without expectation weekly. Introductions, knowledge, time. Track nothing. Trust the compound effect. Part 4.
Artlist.io.
The mental game. Habit 11. Meditation and mindfulness. The pattern. Billionaires train their minds as rigorously as athletes train their bodies. Real-life example. Ray Dalio. Bridgewater Associates founder credits 40-plus years of transcendental meditation for his success. He says, "It's the single biggest influence on my life." Global meditation practitioners. Jack Dorsey meditates 2 hours daily, including 10-day silent retreats. Mark Benioff, Salesforce, built meditation rooms in every Salesforce office. Ariana Huffington made Habit 14. Continuous learning obsession. The pattern. Billionaires are perpetual students. Real-life example. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading textbooks. SpaceX engineers confirm his deep technical knowledge despite no formal aerospace training. Global learning examples. Li Ka-shing attends lectures at 95 and says, "The day you stop learning is the day you start dying." Warren Buffett says he still spends 80% of his day reading and learning. Bill Gates takes detailed notes in every meeting, reviews them weekly. Indra Nooyi, former PepsiCo CEO, read extensively about every culture PepsiCo operated in. The learning velocity. In our era, the half-life of skills is 5 years. What you knew in 2020 is 50% obsolete in 2025. Learning styles. Reading, most common. Mentorship. Bezos with multiple advisors. Experimentation. Jobs with calligraphy class influencing Mac fonts. Formal education. Sergey Brin's PhD research became Google. Book reference. Mindset by Carol Dweck shows growth mindset separates good from great. Your action step. Learn 1 new skill quarterly. Take 1 course annually. Attend 1 conference in your field yearly. Part 5. The lifestyle discipline. 48 minutes to 58 minutes. Habit 15. Sleep optimization. The pattern. Billionaires value sleep quality over quantity. Real-life example. Jeff Bezos prioritizes 8 hours. Says, "I'm more alert and think more clearly. I I just feel so much better all day long if I've had 8 hours. Global sleep examples. Bill Gates, 7 minimum, reads before bed. Ariana Huffington built an entire sleep-focused company after collapsing from exhaustion. LeBron James, a billionaire athlete, 12 hours including naps. Warren Buffett, 8 hours consistently. The sleep science. UC Berkeley research shows sleeping less than 6 hours reduces productivity by 30%, impairs decision-making by 40%, increases emotional reactivity by 60%. The counterexample. Yes, some billionaires sleep 4 to 5 hours, like Elon Musk, but they acknowledge it's not optimal. Musk tweeted, "Sleep is underrated. Quality optimization. Cool room, 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Dark environment. No screens 1 hour before. Consistent schedule." Book reference. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, Berkeley neuroscientist, shows sleep impacts every biological system. Your action step. Track sleep for 1 week. Identify your optimal number. Protect it like a business meeting. Habit 16. Strategic rest and recovery. The pattern. Billionaires schedule recovery like they schedule work. Real-life example. Bill Gates. Think weeks aren't just for thinking, they're for complete mental recovery from decision fatigue. Global recovery examples. Richard Branson, Necker Island retreats to completely disconnect. Bernard Arnault, August vacations non-negotiable for 30-plus years. Sergey Brin, sabbaticals between major Google initiatives. Oprah Winfrey, daily baths, weekly spa treatments, monthly retreats. The productivity paradox. Tony Schwartz's research shows humans aren't designed for 8-hour productivity. We work in 90-minute ultradian rhythms. The recovery framework. Micro, 5-minute breaks every hour. Daily, 30 minutes complete disconnection. Weekly, 1 full day off. Quarterly, 3-day weekend. Annually, 1 week complete vacation. Book reference. The Power of Full Engagement by Jim Schwartz shows energy management trumps time management. Your action step. Block recovery time in calendar as meetings with yourself. Non-negotiable. Habit 18. Nutrition as cognitive fuel. The pattern. Billionaires eat for brain performance, not just for pleasure. Real-life example. Jack Dorsey. 1 meal per day during weekdays, fasts weekends. Controversial, but says it increases mental clarity. Global nutrition examples. Elon Musk. Diet Coke addiction, not recommended, but takes supplements seriously. Bill Gates. Moderate, consistent meals, avoids sugar. Mark Zuckerberg. Only eats meat he kills himself. Ethical connection to food. Serena Williams. Billionaire athlete. Vegan diet optimized for performance. The brain food science. Harvard research shows omega-3s increase cognitive function 25%. Sugar causes 40% cognitive decline short-term. Processed foods linked to decision fatigue. The Buffett exception. Warren Buffett famously eats McDonald's and drinks Coke daily. He's 94. Genetics matter, but he's the exception. Practical billionaire nutrition. Mediterranean diet, most common. High-protein breakfast. Minimal processed sugar. Hydration focus. Bezos drinks a gallon daily.
Reimagine.
Your action step. Eliminate 1 processed food item per week. Add 1 brain-healthy food per week. Salmon, blueberries, nuts. Habit 18. Time blocking mastery. The pattern. Billionaires don't manage time, they design it. Real-life example, Elon Musk. Schedules in 5-minute blocks. Every minute accounted for across Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, Boring Company.
Artlist.io.
Global time blocking. Bill Gates, color-coded calendar, every 15 minutes planned. Sundar Pichai, blocks 2-hour deep work sessions. Indra Nooyi, scheduled family time with the same rigor as board meetings. Tim Cook, 3:45 a.m. to 9 p.m. scheduled,
Music licensing
including gym and
reimagined.
meals. The calendar audit. Track 1 week. How much time on creating value? 40+%, billionaire level. Maintaining operations, 30 to 40%. Wasted or reactive, less than 20%. The protection principle. What gets scheduled gets done. What doesn't get scheduled gets hoped for. Book reference. 168 Hours by Laura Vanderkam
Artlist
shows
IO.
everyone has same hours. Billionaires just architect them better. Your action step. Sunday night, plan next week in blocks. Include deep work, meetings, exercise, family, rest. Stick to it 80%. Part 6. The Billionaire Mindset. 58
Music
minutes to
licensing
68 minutes.
reimagined.
Habit 19. Abundance thinking. The pattern. Billionaires see opportunity where others see scarcity. Real-life example. Sarah Blakely saw women's in comfort in existing undergarments. Others saw saturated market. She saw a billion-dollar opportunity. Spanx. Global abundance examples. Jack Ma saw China's internet potential when only 2% were online.
Artlist
Aliko
IO.
Dangote, Nigeria, saw Africa's infrastructure needs as opportunity, not problem. Elon Musk saw space as new frontier when others saw impossibility. Mukesh Ambani saw India's telecom potential, launched Jio, disrupted
Artlist
entire
IO.
market. Scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity is someone else's win is my loss. Abundance is rising tides lift all boats. The psychological shift. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck's research shows abundance thinkers collaborate
Music
more,
licensing
take bigger risks,
reimagined.
recover from failure faster, build larger networks. Book reference. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, 100 plus years old, still accurate. Your action step. When you see competition, ask, how can we both win? Collaboration over competition. Habit 20. Long-term relationship building. The pattern. Billionaires invest decades in relationships.
Artlist IO.
Real-life example. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, 60-plus-year partnership. Munger's influence on Buffett's investment philosophy created hundreds of billions in value. Global partnership examples. Bill Gates and Paul Allen founded Microsoft together. Larry Page and Sergey
Music
Brin,
licensing
Google partnership,
reimagined.
25-plus years. Mukesh and Anil Ambani built on their fathers' relationships before split. Bernard Arnault maintained relationships with luxury brand families for decades before acquisitions. The relationship ROI. Your network's value compounds exponentially. Year 1, new contact. Year 5, trusted relationship. Year 10, strategic partner. Year 20, legacy
Artlist
partnership.
IO.
The loyalty factor. Billionaires value loyalty over talent. Why? Trust compounds. Movie reference. The Godfather, despite mafia context, shows how Don Corleone built power through decades of relationship investments. Your action step.
Music
Identify
licensing
5 people
reimagined.
for long-term investment. Monthly check-ins. No agenda, just relationship. Habit 21. Systematic generosity. The pattern. Giving isn't random, it's strategic and systematic. Habit 24. Bias toward action. The cost of waiting. Billionaires view analysis paralysis as a hidden tax on wealth. While others wait for the perfect moment, the market changes. For them, the risk of a slow decision is often higher than the risk of a wrong one. Book reference. The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. She argues that there is a 5-second window between an idea and your brain killing it with doubt. Billionaires instinctively use this window to act before fear takes over. Movie reference. The Social Network. It perfectly captures the frenetic energy of Zuckerberg's early days. It wasn't about having the perfect social network, it was about being the first to code it and ship it. Your action step. The 24-hour rule. For the next small idea you have, take one tangible action toward it within 24 hours. Don't research it, start it. Habit 25. Extreme resourcefulness. The pattern? Billionaires don't complain about a lack of resources. They focus on being resourceful. They see no as a question, not an answer. Real-life example. Sarah Blakely, Spanx. With no fashion background and only $5,000 in savings, she wrote her own patent to save money, cold-called manufacturers who hung up on her, and even stood in Neiman Marcus stores herself to sell her product. Global resourcefulness. Jan Koum, WhatsApp, used food stamps while learning to code, built WhatsApp by leveraging existing address books when others were trying to build separate social networks. Steve Jobs, convinced suppliers to give him parts on credit for the first 50 Apple I computers before he had a single cent. Larry Page and Sergey Brin built the first Google server racks out of Legos because they were cheap and expandable. The mental model, the scarcity catalyst. Billionaires believe that constraints breed creativity. If you have infinite money, you solve problems with checks. If you have no money, you solve problems with genius. Book reference, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Thiel discusses how to build something out of nothing by finding the secrets that others haven't noticed yet. Your action step. Identify your biggest goal. List 3 roadblocks, for example, I don't have money. Now, find one way to bypass each roadblock using only what you currently have in your room or on your phone. Habit 26. The Day One Philosophy. The pattern? Billionaires refuse to become established. They maintain the hunger, curiosity, and speed of a startup even when they own a conglomerate. Real-life example, Jeff Bezos. Every letter to Amazon shareholders ends with, "It is still day one." He famously said, "Day two is stasis," followed by irrelevance, followed by excruciating, painful decline, followed by death. Global Day One thinkers. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, operates with the mindset that the company is 30 days from going out of business to keep the team focused and innovative. Reed Hastings, Netflix, willingly killed his own DVD by mail business, which was profitable, to pivot to streaming because he stayed in day one mode. Bernard Arnault, despite owning centuries-old brands, he treats every new season like a debut, constantly challenging his designers to reinvent. The biological reason, dopamine versus serotonin. Comfort, day two, provides serotonin, satisfaction, but innovation, day one, is driven by dopamine, anticipation, or pursuit. Billionaires are dopamine-driven. They are addicted to the hunt. Your action step. Audit your current project. Ask yourself, if I were starting this today from scratch, knowing what I know now, what would I change immediately? Go do that one thing.